Hey everyone, it's Rose. Welcome back to my channel, and today's video is finally my book haul video. So I've been talking about doing this video for over a month, and I'm finally getting to do it. I was waiting for like 4 packages to come in the mail so I can include those books in this video, and finally got them all, and I'm excited. Except, not gonna lie, kind of was avoiding this video a little bit because I knew it was going to be a long video, and I'm not a fan of editing long videos, which is kind of funny because a lot of my videos are on the longer side, but it's okay. I have 20 books to talk about in this video, so I'm going to try to keep this as brief as I possibly can. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So I separated my books into fiction and nonfiction because I surprisingly have quite a bit of nonfiction to show you guys today. We'll talk about the nonfiction towards the end of the video. Recently, I subscribed to Book of the Month, so I thought I would show you all of the Book of the Month books that I have from them. The first one I have is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. This one is a romance between Chloe Brown and the superintendent at her apartment complex. I started reading this a couple months ago, but I was in the middle of a reading slump and it was really bad at that point, and so I decided to put it down for a different time when I'm not feeling slumpy so that I can actually enjoy it. I think I got about halfway through it. But yeah, I'm still in the reading slump pretty bad right now, and so I'm not really reading anything. The next one that I have is No Exit by Taylor Adams. This one is a thriller, and it follows this woman who is on the road. I think she's going home to see her parents or something, but a blizzard hits and she has to pull off into one of those rest stops on the side of the interstate, and she's staying there with 4 random strangers that she doesn't know, hence the word strangers. And she has reason to believe that one of them is a murderer. Love that. I'm saving this book for a day, probably in December or January, when it's pouring buckets of snow outside. I think that would just add to the experience of reading this book, and I can't wait for it. The next one that I have is Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. This one takes place at an apartment complex. They're doing an open house for a couple of the apartments, and a wannabe bank robber shows up and takes all of the people who are there hostage. And the last book of the month book that I have is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have no idea why I own this book because it is historical fiction, and I don't particularly enjoy history. This one follows a woman who is a writer for a magazine, and she is interviewing Evelyn Hugo so that she can write a biography about her for her magazine. The next one that I have is The 7 or 8 Deaths of Stella Fortuna by Juliette Grahams. This one is historical fiction, and like The 7 Husbands, don't know why I own this one either. Next I have Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis. I don't know exactly what this book is about. It's fantasy and it's got a little bit of romance. It follows a circus and magicians, and that's all I got. The next one that I have is Horrid by Katrina Leno. This one is an Owl Crate selection from September. I did say that I was going to cancel my Owl Crate subscription, and I did, but then I remembered that they do a spooky box every September, and so I had to resubscribe to get that box, but then I unsubscribed. So yeah. I don't know what this book is about either, but I know it has something to do with ghosts and spirits. This next one I'm very excited about. It's Mallory by Josh Mallerman. It's the sequel to Bird Box. I believe it just takes place 2 years after the events in Bird Box. I bought this as soon as I saw it at the store. I didn't wait for a sale or a coupon or anything. I just bought it. No regrets. I was planning on reading this month, but I unfortunately am still in this stupid reading slump. It's really bad. I had planned on reading a lot of books during October, and I haven't read a single one yet. Actually, I did read one that I was planning on reading, but I read it in September, so it doesn't really count, I don't think. The next one I have is Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. I had wanted to read this when I got it after it came out, but I decided to read Twilight first for comparison purposes, but then reading slump, and it took me a month to read Twilight, and then after I finished Twilight, I didn't really feel like reading Midnight Sun, so I'm putting this off for a different time. The next one that I have is Dune by Frank Herbert. This one is a science fiction novel, and I've never read science fiction. I think I have like 2 other books that are sci-fi that I'm quite interested in, but this one is about a boy named Paul who is on this desert planet, and he is there because he is trying to like achieve his family's like biggest dream, something like that. I don't know, but it is being adapted into a movie, and it has Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya and somebody else that I know, and I was interested when I saw the trailer, and I knew that it was a book before it was being turned into a movie, but like I knew it wasn't gonna be my thing, but I thought I would give it a shot because it looks interesting. The next one that I have is The Shining by Stephen King. I was also planning on reading this one this month, but I don't think it's gonna happen. But this one follows Jack and his family who are being paid to stay at the Overlook Hotel to like watch and make sure things are going good during the off season. But then a blizzard passes through and they get snowed in, and let's just say they start to go a little crazy. The next one that I have is Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. This one is a romance. It's a graphic novel, and it follows Nick and Charlie. And that's all I know, which is fine. My original plan was to get this, read it, and then decide if I want to get the second and the third one, but I think I'm just going to buy the second and the third one anyways. That's how it usually goes, with me at least. This next book I am very excited to have in this video, and I'm very excited to finally have my copy of this book. It's Daylight Chasers by Rue Sparks. Rue Sparks is my pen pal. She is one of my close friends that I've come to know over the course of the past 4 or 5 months, I want to say. She's just an awesome human, and I'm so glad that we met. First of all, I just want to point out, look how skinny this book is. Like, this thing is skinny. And I'm going to be reading the description on the back because I do not want to butcher it. Keenan loves his job at Daylight Chasers. With the help of technology that allows him and his partner Billy to jump time zones, he has the opportunity to guide his clients through a day that nearly never ends. He can be charming, snarky, earnest, flirty, whatever he needs to put his client at ease. He can be anyone but who he really is, a soft-spoken introvert with a need to control his surroundings. The problem is, his current client, Isabella Marquez, doesn't seem to know what she needs. An enigma that runs hot and cold, Keenan quickly discovers that scripts and calculated acting aren't going to help him this time. When the planned activities start to go south, Keenan wonders what it is about Isabella that tilts the world off its axis. What is it that everyone but him seems to know about the client he's meant to guide? So yeah, I am very excited to have this. I am not gonna read it right now because, for the millionth time, reading slump, and I don't want that to ruin it for me. So I am saving this for a different time. And it does say issue number 1. So Rue, if you're watching this video, can we be expecting a second one anytime soon? Okay, this next book that I'm going to talk about right now, oh my god, I am so hyped for this book. Rue, I'm sorry, I'm just a little bit more excited for this book than I am for your book. I'm sorry. I don't even know how to explain my feelings because I'm already feeling things about this book and I've not even read it yet. And it was adapted into a movie, and I've seen the trailer, but I've not seen the movie either. And oh my god, I'm already obsessed with it. Like a psychopath. For like 2 months already. I can't handle myself right now because I'm literally dying on the inside because I really want to read the book and I really want to watch the movie. But I just can't right now. I have to wait. I gotta wait it out. And I'm saving it for like the most opportune moment. And that moment is not right now. But that book is Call Me By Your Name by Andre Aciman. I am so excited for this book. Oh my god. And I'm going to be reading the description on the back of this for this book as well because I cannot even like think clearly to like put together an actual like description of this book that I came up with myself because I just can't think right now. Call Me By Your Name is the story of a sudden and powerful romance that blossoms between an adolescent boy and a summer guest at his parents' cliffside mansion in Italy. Each is unprepared for the consequences of their attraction when, during the restless summer weeks, unrelenting currents of obsession, fascination, and desire intensify their passion and test the charged grounds between them. Recklessly, the two verge toward the one thing both fear they may never truly find again, which is total intimacy. You guys, I am gonna lose my mind over this book. I already know that I'm gonna love it. If you've read this book or seen the movie, do not tell me anything. I don't want to know. I don't need to go into this book with like pre-opinions. So don't say anything. I haven't had this book in my house for 2 days yet, and I'm already completely obsessed and losing my mind over it. Also, I have found that I am now completely in love with Timothée Chalamet. He stars in the movie, he plays Elio, and I don't know how to handle myself. Like, I've never seen anything that he's in. Actually, no, I watched a movie the other day. It's called Lady Bird. He was in it, but he only had like maybe 10 minutes of screen time total, but yeah. And he was a douchebag in that movie, but yeah, other than that movie, I haven't seen anything else that he's in. I've only seen like compilation videos of him on YouTube, which I'm slightly embarrassed to admit. Okay, I need to shut up because I've been talking about it for 5 minutes. So now we're gonna get into the nonfiction books that I have. The first one I have is a book of the month pick, and it's The Beauty in Breaking by Michelle Harper. It's a memoir. Michelle tells the story of how she became a doctor, a black doctor in the United States where doctors are mostly male and white. And she talks about how hard that experience was for her and all of the things that she had to go through to get to where she is right now. The next one that I have is Untamed by Glennon Doyle. I don't know exactly what this one's supposed to be about. Okay, so this little flap says, "This is how you find yourself." So that's what it's about. The next one that I have is The Choice by Dr. Edith Eger. She is a Holocaust survivor. In this book, she talks about how she came to the United States to escape from what was happening in Germany. And she also talks about how she eventually goes back to her hometown after so many years and her journey studying psychology because she's a psychologist. The next one that I have is Sex After by Iris Krasno. This one is like a compilation of stories, real stories by real women, talking about how sex changes as life changes. So like how sex is different after you get married, after having a baby, after menopause, after being diagnosed with cancer, after your partner passes away, after coming out, after a divorce, things like that. The next one that I have is Good Boss, Bad Boss by Robert Sutton. About 3 to 4 months ago, I got promoted at my job. I work in a restaurant. I got promoted to kitchen supervisor, so I'm basically a manager without the title. And I thought it would be good for me to read about leadership, considering I'm in a position of leadership. And this book, it's going to like help me to like situate myself, I guess. I was like a regular employee, I guess, like 5 months ago. So I know what it's like to work with poor leaders, and I wouldn't want to be a poor leader. And I think this book is really going to help me reflect on my performance as a leader. And the last book that I have is Rising Above a Toxic Workplace by Gary Chapman, Paul White, and Harold Myra. This one is kind of like a guide for you to like take care of yourself when you work in unhealthy environments. When you work in a restaurant, that is like high stress as it is. But then when you add everything else to it, like drama between employees and things like that, it gets like extra toxic. And I noticed that my mental health has kind of been suffering due to my promotion, and so I need ways to like de-stress when I'm at home and keep the stress to a minimum when I'm at work. Oh, so those were all the books. That is all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna have Rue's website linked in the description so you can check out her website. And I will also have her Etsy shop in the description. She just has some of her artwork on there because she's also an artist. And I will also have a link where you can pick up your own copy of Daylight Chasers. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!